I think we all need to stay a little bit humble here. Reverse mentoring. First, I want to explain a little bit what reverse mentoring actually is. Then I want to go through my experiences with reverse mentoring and also what I learned from the reverse mentoring that I am in, and also that I have participated. The first one is, what is reverse mentoring? So what mentoring is, I think I displayed quite broadly in my last podcast episode. I can link it also up here. I talked about my 3 different mentors that I had. And the thing is, they were all older and more experienced than me. And reverse mentoring actually is the exact opposite. So you have a younger person, not as experienced than you are, and you got mentored by them. I think it's a very valuable kind of information sharing. I like to stay at the pulse of time, because what I didn't like the most about being led by baby boomers and also by Gen X, I'm sometimes under the impression that they think that they are something better, so we are older, you have to respect me because I'm older and longer in the company, I'm more experienced than you are. And I think that's something that does not work with some of the millennials, but definitely not with Gen Z. For me, it is very important to stay with them, to stay in touch with them, to understand what their needs are, and also to figure out what I have to do or what I can contribute as a leader to make a difference in their life. I think this is something that the baby boomers and also some of the Gen X people are really not aware of, and sometimes they really have to eat it up because of that. I also made a podcast episode regarding Gen Z. I can link it up here, and about their requests and requirements, and I think I'm so aware of that because I'm so close to them, And what also comes additionally on top, I'm kind of motivated by the situation in my team because I have entry-level positions that are reporting to me, and so I have to be, let's say, on the pulse of time if I have to replace someone, because this happens from time to time when you have entry-level positions in your team. So this happens from time to time that you have to replace someone because they are all growing, they have all their personal goals, like I said last time, so I'm not gonna repeat myself here. But this also brings growth, and people want to contribute and make a difference, and I also want to make a difference in their life, and so we're all growing together. For me as a leader, it is very beneficial to, like I said before, to be aware of what they need from me as a leader and also what I have to require from the company, to really bring them value. Because they are wired a little bit differently, and this purpose-driven mindset that they are having is really, let's say, challenging us as leaders and also as companies on a daily basis to provide that for them. This time of the employer telling what to do, and then they just have to execute. This time is over, and I also don't want to work that way. I also want to be asked for my opinion, and also I want to ask for some inputs and new ideas and so on, and that they are as well valued. Because some leaders also say they want to hear ideas and want us to bring new things, but we as leaders, we also have to be aware that we also have to handle the ideas then, So when we request our people to bring something, then it's possible that they are actually bringing this. So for the younger part, I think this reverse mentoring is also very beneficial because they can really ensure that their voice is heard. This is typically a millennial thing, let's say it that way. So I think I was never mentoring someone else. So normally someone in their 20s would mentor someone in their 30s or 40s. or even in their 50s. Yeah. I had never the experience to be a mentor in my 20s myself, yeah, because Gen X and the baby boomers were not listening. I'm joking. I think it's very helpful for them also, to make them see how they can contribute. Because on one hand, they can always say, yeah, no, I don't want to do this, But on the other hand, they also have to show us what they want, And I think this reverse mentoring is a very good, let's say, opportunity that they can express themselves. But then they have to do it. Yeah? We have also Gen Z people that really don't want, but we have this among all generations, not only Gen Z. At the moment, they are a little bit famous for not wanting to work, but they are simply not accepting the bad conditions anymore. So like we did 15 years ago. So when I am thinking about how I worked 10 years ago, it's a way different way of working than now. And this is not only because of my age. This is also because the workplace has changed a lot, and sometimes it's not so easy for the boomers and also for Gen X to deal with it, that we don't have this top-down dynamic anymore, or it is simply not accepted. Yeah. So the younger people have the chance to also take some responsibility for their requests. Yeah. So I think this is also very important, and also they get some exposure to senior leaders. They can maybe promote them someday, or they can introduce to someone else when they want to have a new role. So I think this is also for both parts very, very beneficial. So, and then you maybe think, Tanja, when they are less experienced, how can they mentor me? So I think it's very important to be kind of reverse mentored, to also stay in touch with technology, to stay in touch with the things that are moving this generation. For me, for example, I cannot imagine having a phone on my in front of my face from a very young age, because I received my first smartphone at mid of 20. Yeah. So, and they already grew up with it. So no one had a smartphone when I was in high school, for example. And I think this is also very important or very interesting to know how they acquire information. So this is, at least for me, it's very interesting how they acquire information, how they digest information, and also how much they rely on it, for example. Yeah. And if you don't talk to these people, you never discover this. Yeah. For me as a manager, is also important what kind of expectations they have for me as a leader, and also what I have to require from the company. Yeah. Also to get in fresh talent, so from the outside. I think also, like what I'm doing here right now, I think also some exposure on social media is very important for the leaders, but also for the companies, that they have not only have a kind of online presence, but also have a maintained one, that that this generation can kind of figure out if they want to work with us. And they are doing this differently than people did in the past. Yeah. And also I think it's important to understand how they are incentivized. So it means what kind of incentives, what do they value? And if you don't talk to them, you will never figure it out. Yeah. And this is a very sad situation, because everyone is talking about Fachkräftemangel, so and many positions are open because of that, and at the end it is because the right position is not so the position may be also interesting one in great companies, it's not promoted accordingly. And I think this is something that we really have to work on, and if we don't talk to these people, we will never discover this. Then the challenges at the end. Sometimes the experience gap can be a little bit intimidating. So there are also people who are maybe not that self-confident, and who really maybe have not figured out so much what they want. And I think then to stay to really digest this reverse power dynamic, because when you're talking to a leader and you don't know what you want and you are a little bit unsure, the leader will always take the lead back again. So I think it's very important to have kind of a clear communication line, that you set clear goals, yeah, so to really prepare also the mentor in this case, as this is a younger person, to really ensure what the goal is, and that both get out of it what each other want. You know, I think that's very important, and also correct communication. Yeah, because I think for younger people, the power dynamic can be quite intimidating, and to really avoid this, I think it's important to be a little bit vulnerable also with each other. Sometimes it's not so easy to talk to older generations, because most of the time they give you the impression for you don't have that much to offer. And I think we have to get away from that. Because at the end, something that the boomer generation also has not considered, that we are their managers sometime. And also this is sometimes what Gen X sometimes forgets. Yeah? So I'm developing people that I really have no issue working for in the future. And I think this is something how we all have to approach leadership. We have to educate, we have to raise, kind of, yeah, we have to lead people like we would have to be led in the past, even though some of the managers I worked for really did do a bad job in it. So I worked for great leaders, and I also really worked for complete nightmares. So I have really been on both ends. Yeah. What I do is I'm trying to be always the best version of myself and bring my people what they need. Yeah. And if you don't talk to them, you will not attract the right ones, and also they maybe are your future managers, and they will never forget how you treated them. Yeah, and that's something what the boomers and also Gen X will suffer sooner or later if they don't get in touch with this Gen Z. Yeah, or with us as millennials. I think we all need to stay a little bit humble here, and really approach learning from each other, and stop doing this top-down kind of stuff. I think that's my take on reverse mentoring. I think you see I have really a clear understanding and a clear goal here. What I want to do really is to promote this kind of stuff, yeah, learning from the younger generations, and stay with the test of time, and stay humble. Yeah, don't think we're all set because we have a career of 15 or 20 years in the company, or 15 or 20 years in supply chain, or whatever. Yeah, we really need to figure out how to get in fresh talent, how to get in fresh ideas, yeah, because otherwise our companies, or the whole branch will go down somewhere. Yeah, and so that's all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed today's episode, even though I crossed the line on leadership and also mentoring, and also Gen Z a little bit. That's what I figured during this episode. But I hope you enjoyed it, and talk to you tomorrow. Bye, guys. Hey, and don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and comment down below if you also agree on my point of view. Thank you. Bye.